Hey casters, welcome back to Collecticon Miami. Today we have the one, the only, Turmentic. Thank you very much, my friend, for joining us for this interview. It is a pleasure to have you. We do have some questions for you that I hope you will answer for us. First and foremost, you're known as the lore master around here in MetaZoo. What got you interested in the lore? And second part to the question, what were you working on before the shutdown?
So I'm a very big fan of Comic Historian. I loved his work, and so I originally tried to find something like that with the original comics on YouTube. Couldn't find anything, and decided, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. And so I just started making them, and it kind of just grew from there, where I started incorporating like specific cryptid videos. I did like the theory stuff. And then one day I saw an article actually about a real position at Disney called Keeper of the Holocron. And their job is to basically keep track of all Star Wars continuity lore, down to like they know what specific planet is what type of government, starships, everything. And I was like, you know what, I want to do that, but for MetaZoo.
Nice.
And so I kind of adopted the whole idea of the Keeper of the Lore. It started really jumping into it. That's when I really started the deep dives into the cards, trying to figure out the mysteries and all of the different stuff that wasn't ever explained.
Sure.
And yeah, the biggest thing I was honestly working on before the shutdown was the cryptid map that I was working with, actually all with Mike on. And you can actually see kind of the map if you go on Instagram. I have like a video, a reel of it. I haven't fully officially released it yet. I want to add all of the cryptids from base set of New Zoo, and then I'm probably going to end up actually releasing it hopefully sometime in the next like 2 weeks or so.
Amazing. That's excellent. Love your videos, by the way. Watch all of them. Even the live streams that began at like 3 a.m. or whatever that was.
That's honestly, it's because a lot of the Dean from MetaZoo Nation Australia, the hobby podcast, him and I have been doing the live streams now for like a little over a year and a half or so, and with him being in Australia and me on the East Coast, like,
a little time
I can't
difference.
Always make him do the early times. Sometimes I got to do it myself too. So just to be fair.
For sure. So MetaZoo obviously is relaunching in a big way. What has stood out to you the most about the launch so far?
Honestly, the authenticity. The big thing yesterday, working the booth, helping out with the prizes, trying to like just get people engaged, was that the one thing I really noticed was everybody at the booth, doesn't matter what their position was, they were trying to engage with the people. They were trying to bring them in. They were trying to talk to them, find out their favorite cryptid and things like that. And that is something that wasn't always there with old MetaZoo at conventions and stuff. A lot of times it was just like, get the promo and go.
For sure.
And yesterday was really, like, I saw so many people that had no idea what MetaZoo was, and as soon as I mentioned cryptids, as soon as I mentioned like the cards, the artists behind me would sign them, like you could see that spark of joy in them. And so I would have to say the biggest thing's probably been just the authenticity of everything.
Excellent. So you have had a front row seat to the highs and lows of MetaZoo, to say the least. Looking ahead, where do you see the game and community a year from now?
Oh, wow. That's a hard question, because for once I really feel like we have the direction and the drive, like the company itself, the team that Charlie has put together, to really make this what it should be. Like, I've always said that MetaZoo, I feel, is a real rival to Pokemon.
Sure.
Because with Pokemon, you pick your favorite one because of the way it looks, or because it was your starter, or I like dragons or water or whatever. With MetaZoo and cryptids, it's different, because these are creatures that you might not even know it's a cryptid, but it's a story that your father, your grandfather, your mother, your sister told you.
For sure.
And it's about the local story. It's about the personal lore itself. So MetaZoo has always really stuck out to me with that, because again, it's part of your personal story. And again, Lorekeeper, lore, story, everything like that, it's all about your story.
For sure.
And that's something that I really am excited about when it comes to New Zoo, is because it is very focused on your story, individual stories. And that's what's going to make it just explode.
Amazing. So I do want to just touch on the past for just a moment. So in, I believe, January of 2024, it could have been December, I don't really recall, Mike posted a timeline of all these new expansions to getting MetaZoo back on track, and then very shortly after that, notice was posted in the Discord. When you first saw that notice, what was your first reaction?
trying to think back on exactly what was on that notice. I would say it was very scaled down versus the previous year. I think they had actually saw some of the limitations that they ran into, specifically with like the towers and stuff like that, like the conventions. And it was more of a scaled back version, which was something that they probably should have done to begin with.
Yeah.
That was one thing I will give the old administration, and they were very zealous. They were very ambitious. And so they always tried to do so much and a lot. But my philosophy is don't promise that much, but over-deliver on everything. Like, if you have fewer things that you need to focus on, that leaves you opportunities to be able to do more once you focus on those core specific things that need to be done.
For sure.
I think that the timeline that actually was released was better than the 2023 one, but at the same time, though, nobody had any idea what was going to happen in the end of January.
Yeah, my follow-up question, when Mike posted the letter, that was shutting down MetaZoo. I know for myself, being an outsider, just a fan, it shocked me. I had no idea whatsoever what the financial issues or anything was with MetaZoo. When you knew that Zoo was over, for the moment at least, what kind of emotions did you feel? What ran through your head?
Honestly, heartbreak. It was heartbreaking. That was the one word I kept using over and over again. And not just because of the game and the community and everything like that as well, but I was supposed to start working for them back. He had hired me back in November and just kept pushing off my start date. And so because that has always been my goal, is to actually work for MetaZoo to help cultivate and develop the lore, the story of it. And so it was heartbreaking when that letter came out, and it blindsided everybody, honestly. There was a very small group, I feel, that actually knew anything was like that. They were in that type of position. But saying that, I did everything and anything I could. There were countless number of community members that did whatever they could in order to try to bring MetaZoo back. And eventually the group they bought it and they actually moved forward with it, everything like that. And like, there was one thing where we knew that it wasn't going to be what it was because of the way that everything happened, but there's so much potential in this IP, in this story, and like cryptids in general, that I knew that somebody would eventually pick it up. I honestly thought it would be way longer than a year. I didn't think a year.
Me too.
Here, like I really didn't. I thought it was going to be a solid 2 to 3 years before the IP and everything was actually picked up, and I was blown away with the leaps and bounds that GQL and M2 have actually made. Because you got to think they've done all of this in less than a year, 7-8 months, and like that's the thing. They have a full plan moving forward. They have like all of this stuff down the pipeline, and it's just buckle up and wait up because it's coming. Excellent.
My final question for you: where is Sam Sinclair?
All right, so Sam actually, just so anybody doesn't know, Sam was the main character of the old story. I haven't come out fully yet and say this, so I'll actually just say it here for you, MetaZoo News. I have a full plan on how to incorporate Sam Sinclair, the old story, into the new universe, the new lore. I'm actually currently trying to write the book. It might honestly end up being 2. But I have, and it's seamless. It's brilliant, in my opinion, of how to tie the 2 universes together.
Awesome.
At saying that, though, Sam technically, I feel, is already in this new universe. If you go on their website, you actually can see the basics of casting, basically mapping a cryptid.
Right.
And no one can convince me otherwise. That is Sam Sinclair. All right, the guy with the snipe trying to going over the mapping process. That is Sam. Like,
right on.
100%.
Folks, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Turmentic, once again. And I know that all of my followers already know where to find Turmentic, but where can the fans find you and your work?
Any of the social medias, I basically have the name Turmentic on all of them. I've tried to join as many as I can, so if you can't find me on Discord, and I'll send you a link.
Perfect. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you for having me, man.